Hi guys. Hi. How are we? Okay guys, how we going? All right, let's tell some people we're live quickly. So you guys, I've had the link up for a while, so hopefully if some of you guys have twigged on that I was going live, let me just very quickly say we're live. How are you all going? Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. Is Angel on? Let's just tell Angel we're live. Okay, let's have a look. All right, so the kids have gone to a party. It's a sort of mum's party, so I'm not really welcome. And my wife is going out for the first time in I don't know how long, 6 months, maybe longer. So she's very excited. She's going in town. She's meeting quite a few friends. They're going to go to a few bars, maybe have a meal. So she's very excited. So let me just go on to defending Elvis Presley to say we're live. I think my daughter's going in town tonight as well with her mates, so they might appear. So I wanted to talk about Linda Thompson. This is my plan. I want to talk about Linda Thompson, and one of you guys suggested that I watch a video by Michael Douglas, who interviewed a few people, but what in 1975? Well, actually, no. It won't be 1975, will it? It says 1975 here, but that's obviously wrong. I can hear banging around. Hello, I am Lando. Oh, Ria, you going out tonight? Okay, so I'm going to play some of this in a second, and I may even read Linda's notes on this book. I was going to play a couple of other Linda Thompson videos. So so the topic tonight is Linda Thompson. Now, obviously, I know there's mixed views. I know not everyone is mad about her. I like Linda Thompson. I know the mistakes she's made. I've seen the different bits of information that shows me quite a rounded view of Linda. She's definitely a beautiful woman. Still is beautiful, I think. I watch a lot of her interviews. She comes across lovely. Yeah, she. I just think she's. Whenever I could put even a very recent interview. She always speaks well of Elvis. Let me just tell a few people that we're on. So who have we got here? So Cherie. So I'm just telling a few people on Instagram that we're live. It was a bit of a last minute thing. I wasn't sure if I could go on, but in the end, because the kids were going to the party, I thought, well, I can quickly do an hour before they come back, and then we're going to watch a Christmas film. I think Angel is on. Yeah, Angel, you're on. Hi, Angel. So just very, very quickly, I'm going to just very quickly message a couple more people. We got a good hour, I think. So I spoke to Shauna tonight. Shauna is so lovely. Shauna messaged me. I watched Shauna's live stream last night. I thought it was brilliant. Thought it was really good. Okay, so let's just very quickly message a few of you guys. We have to do this because we know that YouTube's messaging system has never worked properly ever. Okay, let's have a look. So can I tell you, while I'm just typing this in, can I ask you, how many of you are Linda Thompson fans? How many of you are not? Do you think, how many of you think Elvis and Linda were in love? That's a great question. Yeah. Seriously, how many of you think Elvis and Linda were in love? How many of you think it was just more of a infatuation? How many of you think Elvis was just, it was a stepping stone away from Priscilla? Because she more or less was the next girlfriend after Priscilla. I've read that for the first year, they were together every day for the first year. I've also read that Elvis did get a bit bored, but I also have read that Linda was unfaithful. Was it the drummer? One of you guys told me. I think it was Josie. Is it? What was his name? She said to me his name. Was it David Briggs? One of you guys told me the name of the guy that Linda was unfaithful with. So I know Linda. She says she was a virgin when she met Elvis, and she's a Southern girl from Memphis. Wasn't her sister Miss Rhode Island, I think? But we also know that Linda Thompson was also doing these pageants as well and did very well, from what I hear. We know about the film that is on YouTube called Elvis and the Beauty Queen with Don Johnson. It's a melodrama, TV melodrama type film. It's bad quality on YouTube, but it's watchable. It shows how they met, doesn't it, guys? Right, so just bit by bit, trying to message everyone while I waffle. Let's message Jean. Jean, are you on? Diana. I know a lot of you are doing Christmas shopping, guys. I get it. A lot of you are busy. You're all getting ready for the season greetings and all that. So, okay. Do you know, look how long it takes me to message you all. It's like, okay, I think that's all of you. There are probably a few more. I think that's it. Okay, guys. Right. Right. So there's 20 of you here at the moment. I'm sure more will join. Hello, daughter. Okie dokie. Thank you, beautiful Talia. My daughter's called Talia. She's 18. She's going out with her mates. She shut the door, which means the dog's probably going to bark. Princess. Come say hello. Come and say hello. This is Ella. Hello. Right, I'm going to open the door for. No, we're not going out. You've already been out. Go on, then. Go on up if you want. Go on. Princess. Come on, come and say hello. There we go. This is Ella. Ella is 11 and a half. Hello. There we go. She loves a bit of attention. I've just walked them, so they've had a good walk. She's trying to talk to me now. I can hear her go. Arr, 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 arr. Right, guys. So one of you said to me, watch the interview with Michael Douglas. I've never heard of this interview. So I did manage to find it. The quality is very poor. It says 1975 here, but it obviously isn't. Actually, did Linda Thompson give an interview with Elvis? No. It can't be 1975, can it? It can't be. Anyway, I'll tell you what, I'll let you decide what year it is, because obviously we know Elvis passed in 77. I don't think that she ever gave interviews before he passed. No. No, this has got to be after. All right, guys, let's play it. Now, this is my first time watching it, so we're going to listen and watch it together. We're nearly to 100. Yeah, we have. Oh, actually, you're asking about the membership. Well, Tony has boosted our membership, hasn't she? Tony has been so good. She's boosted our membership. Tony, are you here? I think Joe's here from. Right, he's on his different Elvis and the Legends. So Rare Elvis first. Hi, Joe. Great work, Joe. I just watched your video. I thought it was excellent. I walked the dogs, and I watched your video. I thought it was really good. Your most recent one. Yeah, it's excellent. So, right. So what we're doing, I found this old interview of Linda Thompson, and we've decided we're going to have a little show with Linda Thompson. Everyone say hello to Joe, please, at Rare Elvis first. Now, Joe, have you ever seen this? Because I've never watched this. It's not very loud. Let's have a listen. It says April the 12th, 1978. Right, let's see if it comes up, guys. Should I forward it a bit? Right, here we go. I've never watched this, guys, so it's not very loud.
Probably the biggest influence on American music in the last 20 years was that of the King, Elvis Presley. We were all fascinated with the incredible career of that great showman. He was a curious mixture of spectacle, soul, and raw energy. Our next guest knew Elvis well. She lived with him for 4.5 years as his lover, confidant, and friend. And I know you'll be interested in her story. Here is, and welcome her, please, Linda Thompson. Weren't you a former beauty queen?
Of sorts.
What,
I was Miss Tennessee University.
Oh, Miss Tennessee. How did you meet Elvis?
I met him in '72. I was Miss Tennessee University at the time. My girlfriend was Miss Rhode Island. She had just moved to Memphis. And we were planning to get a job and go to work and become roommates. And we were invited to a movie theater together to meet him. And I thought, well, you know, he just wants to meet Miss Tennessee. That's very nice. And we went to the theater. We almost didn't go because I wasn't sure. I thought, you know, I was a small town girl, and I thought, oh, this is a big star. You know, I don't know what he's going to pull. But he came and sat next to me and pulled the old yawn and stretch of the arm behind the seat bit. And I was very standoffish because I thought he was still married. The news hadn't broken that he was separated. And he said, you know, honey, you realize I'm not married anymore. I said, oh.
But you were put off by him at first.
It wasn't put off by him. I just had no intentions of getting involved with a married man. You know, I thought he was still married at the time.
Was he?
I thought he was pretty cute.
What was it? What kind of a guy was he? Was he easy to get to know?
Yes, he was very trusting. He was easy to get to know. He was somewhat of a difficult man. He was very paradoxical. He was a very strong figure, a very intense man, and yet he needed a mother figure very much in his life.
Wasn't that his nickname for you, Mother?
Mommy, yeah.
Mommy, and that's strange. That's interesting. I find that very interesting. What did you do on your first date?
Our first date,
Was it?
I met him at a theater.
Was it? Well, that was the first date?
Yeah, and then we were invited to his home the next evening, and he took us on a tour of Graceland, and we rode golf carts. And he's very much like a little child. He enjoyed just playing in the yard, you know, playing on his golf carts and riding motorcycles and that kind of thing.
I also read that, I have read several things about Graceland, that it was the kind of decor and all was kind of
garish
and carnival-like.
In a sense it was, but then Elvis was a very outlandish figure in his own right. You know, he was very flamboyant in his lifestyle and his generosity and the way that he dressed. So it was very befitting, I thought.
He lived a strange life. They made him. He surrounded himself with what he called bodyguards, I guess.
Memphis Mafia.
Yeah, is that what you call them?
That's what the press called it.
And they really didn't let the man go anywhere. He couldn't, like, if Bob and I decided we wanted to go have lunch after the show, we could go and have lunch.
Yeah,
you know?
It wasn't so much the people around him. It was just his lifestyle. He had grown so acclimated to that sort of life that became normal for him. And
He never expressed a desire to say, hey.
Occasionally,
Did he ever put on?
No, he never tried disguises. I know. I wanted to go to Disneyland so badly. I wanted him to be able to experience Disneyland, you know, something like that. I thought he would really enjoy it, but. He had such a presence, you know. He had his own stance, his own walk. I think that no matter what he had done, they would have known him.
Yeah, you were there with him for 4.5 years. You lived with him for 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like you were And didn't like it?
I did, yeah. My girlfriend worked in the office, and she used to often pass my dressing area and say, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, because it was like living in an ivory tower.
Couldn't he have gone, say, to an island in the Pacific
Yeah.
and bought it and lived on it so he could roam?
I'm sure he could have done much more than he did, but as I said, he had grown so acclimated to that sort of life, it had become normal for him.
Did he eat 3 meals a day? Did he play cards all the time? Did he watch television?
He watched TV a lot, he read a lot.
What kind of books did he read?
Spiritual and political.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Since he mentioned television, I heard the most outlandish story, and I heard it from, as they say, a reliable source, that he was watching television one day and saw Bob Goulet.
I knew this would be brought up.
And that he took a gun and shot the set out. Didn't he like it? Is that true?
I'm sorry. On behalf of Elvis.
You win some, you lose some.
That's a good thing it wasn't an in-person engagement.
We talked about this backstage. It wasn't.
Did he really do that?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he like Bob?
No, it wasn't that he didn't like Bob. It was just that I'm sure there was snow in the TV set or whatever. Maybe it was a bad picture.
So he just shoots
He
the
was
set out.
crazy. He had a nickname on his ID bracelet, Crazy. That was his nickname because he would do kind of crazy things like that with guns. He was a grown-up child with grown-up toys, you know.
That describes it perfectly.
Yeah.
What about his diet? Was it as ridiculous as I read that he was hooked on these awful sandwiches, banana and
peanut
peanut
butter
butter,
banana,
and he would
yeah.
deep fry them in butter?
Yeah. They're great, aren't they?
Oh,
So good.
once you swallow them, they're terrific.
But they're not the best thing in the world for you to have all the time. No, he did have a very poor diet. You know, too many eggs, too much pork, and too much beef, not enough fish and chicken. He never ate fish, as a matter of fact.
And did you go with him at his Vegas engagements?
Yeah, and on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was grueling, sort of a grueling
I
lifestyle.
should
It was
say.
interesting, and you know, I don't regret any of it.
And did you adjust to his schedule?
I did, yeah. I'm a very adaptable person. In the beginning, it was difficult. I mean, it was easy to adapt to that lifestyle, but after a while, it just became so bizarre and so abnormal. I think anytime you lose touch with what is normal in this life, and you won't find happiness.
In the 4.5 years of that relationship, did he ever say anything to you like "I love you," or did he ever ask you to marry him?
Certainly.
Did he ever ask you to marry him?
We discussed marriage, yeah.
And why didn't it come off?
Elvis didn't like the word wife. He loved the idea of having a family, the security and the stability of a family life. And he viewed Lisa and me and his dad and his grandmother as his family. But he didn't like the word wife. Somehow that represented confinement to him and restrictions that he didn't want to have in his life.
Yes, Bob.
I have a question about his music. Did he listen to a lot of other musicians and
Yeah.
songwriters? And,
Yeah. Primarily
music?
country music.
yeah?
Yeah, it's really interesting because he started the whole rock thing, you know,
Uh-huh.
but he primarily liked country music and gospel music. And that's where his roots were, gospel
I
music.
saw him perform once at the Hilton, and the Colonel was his manager was a very, very sharp man, and it still is for that matter. But he was smart enough to have Elvis's show between our shows on the Strip, so that he invited every star on the Strip.
Mhm.
And so we went and sitting there watching him perform. First person I ever saw turn his back to an audience, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He worked a lot to the band.
Yeah, he did.
He
Yeah.
broke a lot of rules, and of course they worked
A
for him.
terrific showman. He was a terrific
And he
showman.
was beginning to have a weight problem then. And I saw him do something very unusual. He took a piece of music by, we'll appreciate this. Perry Como was in the audience. Took a piece of music and he sang "Call Me Irresponsible" off of the sheet music.
Call me
never went-
irresponsible? Really?
Not "Call Me Irresponsible." It's impossible. It's
Oh,
impossible.
yeah.
Which was Perry Como's song. He didn't make reference to the fact that any of us were there.
No.
He never introduced a single soul. And Sullivan, the late Ed Sullivan was there. A lot of people in the audience. Steve and Edie were there. And
I've seen
but I
him
was
do
so
that several
fascinated
times,
by
yeah.
turning the back to the audience, and they loved it. And he's the
Yeah.
only person to ever fill that room.
He could almost do
balcony and all.
anything, you know,
Yeah.
and his fans accepted it. He has tremendous fans still, you know, they're still in existence.
People literally came from all over the world
All
to
over
see
the world.
him, and they
He
would
never got to
stay.
tour Europe. And it's so fascinating that he has such tremendous fan clubs there still.
In England, he never went to
Yeah.
England. They loved him.
When
They
he was in the
worshipped
army,
him
yeah.
in England.
He introduced me once, but I had gone to the men's room.
Did he shoot at you?
That's the night he said, "Here he is, Jerry Vale." No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. What was this? Go ahead.
I've seen a lot of entourages and bodyguards and such like. And it seems to me that most of their job is keeping the job, you know. Most of their job is causing things to do And if you're gonna, if I get hired to protect someone in the middle of the desert when there's no one else around, I'm going to protect him. Okay? And I did hear a story once before Elvis started touring again, before he was making his PAs again, that he said, I can't go out in public, I can't appear because people are going crazy, I'm afraid for my life or what have you. And the guy took him outside of this office building or this place, and they stood on the street for a couple of hours, and no one knew who he was.
Going to see if I can let that focus a bit better, because I know it's quiet, but it's also the focus isn't great. But I mean, I think she's a stunner. Yeah, I don't know if Joe is still on. Joe, she's a stunner, don't you think? And I don't really like the comment about his eating, because I don't know. I just don't think it's right. Any ex-girlfriends in any way sort of demean Elvis. That's just maybe me being too protective. And but in a minute, I've got these notes here all about Linda, and we're going to go through them. These were sent to me by Linda that are in relation to this book. So I'm going to go through them, but I want to watch this because it's very interesting. I'm actually fascinated by it because I've never seen it. So let's keep going, guys.
Had that same problem when he was at an event or some kind of a, situation where there were a lot of people. He would instantly get recognized, but it was
we've been shopping
for him
before.
to go shopping, and people would say, but they would,
Right. It's interesting because it really doesn't happen with a lot of other people like that. Frank Sinatra, I mean, who's bigger than Frank Sinatra? He goes out, he could.
Everyone thinks he's tall, and then.
But it was very interesting. We went out shopping a couple of times, and we would have to run for the car.
How tall was Elvis?
Elvis was about 6'1", almost 6'1". Yeah, he was.
I heard an interesting story just the other day. A man named Jerry Weintraub, who handled all of Elvis's tours. I said, how in the world, because I had read that Elvis didn't want to do tours, how in the world did you talk him into doing these tours? And he said, well, it was easy. The first thing I said to him was, there's a guy getting awfully big out there who's cutting in on your territory by the name of Tom Jones. And Elvis, without a breath, said, I'll do the tour. Is that, and I'm sure that's true. But he reached his ego with that remark. Was there a thing? Because I know
he and Tom Jones were very good friends. Very good friends. But he liked him a lot. He liked his singing a lot. And
he was a very giving man. He
giving,
gives to everybody. He'd meet somebody and hand him a sapphire ring.
Yeah.
Or
a car.
Never met him.
Yeah. It's incredible. But that was.
Talked to him on the phone once.
Did you?
At Muhammad Ali's house. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. In your opinion, what did he die of?
Well, I have no reason to doubt what the doctors said, that it was a massive coronary.
Was he into dope?
No, it's so unfair that so much has been said about that. If Elvis had a problem at all, it was with sleeping medication, because it's very difficult to control.
Difficult sleeping?
He had a lot of difficulty sleeping. From the time he was a child, he suffered from insomnia. So you can imagine the pressures from the time he was 19 on. So he did have a lot of trouble sleeping, and sleeping medication is very difficult to control.
Indeed.
So if he had a problem at all, it was with that. But it's not fair to say that he was a drug addict or that he had a real problem.
Was he ill when you were with him?
No, he wasn't ill. There was a time I woke up one morning and I knew that something was wrong.
Crush.
Right, I'm not sure if they're still talking about Elvis now. I think it's Tommy Sands, and really interesting, guys. Let me show you where you can find it in case you want to watch all of that because it's quite a long. It's 29 minutes long. So if you want to watch it, guys, it's called Richard Sealed, and it was done a year ago. So let's see if we can I stumbled on it, to be honest, you guys. See if it's going to let you focus. There you go. Richard Sild. Give it another chance to focus. I think it's trying to focus on me. See, let's try and go in front of me. Richard Sild. If you want to watch all of that, because there is quite a lot talking about Elvis leading up to the moment when Linda joins it. So it's funny how she mentioned Tom Jones, but I want to play another one of her interviews first, because I like this one. There's a bit of funny music in the background that is a bit annoying, but you can sort of make out what she's saying. So let's just play a bit more. I just want to get a feel for Linda. Let's have a look. I know many of you have seen this. This is one of my favorite interviews. Not everything she says is what really. There's a couple of bits she mentions that are rather she didn't, but it's still, I like this interview. And this is, I think this is just after he passes. So let's have a look, guys. About 2 or 3 years after he passed.
I left him in the beginning of December of 70, I guess. And then he died 8 months later, and I didn't see him for those 8 months. We spoke on the phone, but I didn't see him. And he really had deteriorated a lot. Now, here's a man who has everything in the world going for him. He was the most gorgeous man, I think, physically, who ever lived. Spiritually, he was sound, he was good, he was solid. Emotionally, he had a few problems. He was still a little boy, never had an opportunity to fully grow up. He had people doing things for him so much. But he'd let himself go a lot. It was tragic. But when you live with someone as closely as we lived together, for as long as we lived together, you view them as a human entity. You have to live with the vulnerability, the human fallibility daily. And we were together so much because his work was perhaps an hour on stage and a few rehearsals. And the rest of the time we were together. And even, of course, during his shows, I was there. So you have to view the person that you're living with as a human soul, not as Elvis Presley on the marquee. So it's a little disturbing to see him viewed just totally as a commodity now. And I think about the humanness of the man. You can't change a 40-year-old man. It's not even fair to try. People change of their own accord. That's something I had to learn very early in life, that try as you may, you really can't change another person. They have to do that for themselves. And all you can do is try to be a stabilizing force or some sort of positive influence on their life. And I think that I was in Elvis's life. I certainly tried as best I could to curb his improper eating habits and to watch the sleeping medication that he took, sometimes too much of. As I said, it was difficult for me to fathom that he was gone, truly gone. And I reflect back to his lying in the coffin, and I saw him, and I know he's gone. But I guess it's difficult for people who didn't see him in a state of death to fully realize that he is dead. They want to believe that he's off in the Bahamas somewhere, and I wish he would. I believe that Elvis lives on. I mean, certainly he lives on even in this world, in our memories. But I think that he is in another dimension. And it's comforting to me, before I go to sleep at night, to know within my own soul that wherever Elvis is now, he knows who truly loved him. He knows who had high regard, those of us who had high regard for him as a human being, as a human entity, not as a commodity. And he knows that now. And that's comforting. Living from day to day, chasing the dream.
So I think, you get a feel, don't you? You get a feel for Linda and how she is with Elvis. I always, whenever I bring up Linda, I always get a little bit of a backlash. I always get some people all that really like her and she's a beauty and she's lovely. But then I get the other comments coming in. Now, this was sent to me by Linda, a while ago. She also sent me this book. Now, the first 160 pages of this book is about her and Elvis. Then I think it talks about the rest of her life. And she sent me these notes. This is her review of the book. Now, remember, I just want to say, I don't think Linda's here. She's not a fan of Linda. So these are not my views. So I'm going to read them. Salvatore, we love you, mate. Right, so I'm going to start reading them. You carry on chatting, guys, while I read them. I think Joe is a very busy man. He may have gone, but if you are watching, Joe, I'm really enjoying your The last 4 or 5 shows you've done, thought they were excellent. Even the Lucy stuff, really interesting. Really, you know, the book, Are You Lonesome Tonight? I've been watching your shows, and I find it fascinating. Honestly, Joe, I find it fascinating. So keep up the great work, my friend. Right. So, hi, Louis. It's important to defend Elvis against this book. Right. So, remember, this is Linda's book. Linda's point of view. Okay, not mine. I'm a fan of Linda, but you guys, if you have different opinions, I'll read them out, guys. Let's see what Linda has to say. Right. Okay. Oh, that would be nice. Joe, man, she has Donna Presley has she does follow us, and I think she subscribes, because I've had a few, I think on Instagram she follows us. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. It's important to defend Elvis against this book, because as she gains popularity, being at Elvis Week, more people may read her book. Tickets to her for speaking were $1,250, and it was sold out. I know you, like many of us, want to like Linda. I like Linda. I know she speaks sweet of him in interviews, and we all know that she was there at a time when Elvis needed someone. Her stunning looks probably boosted her bruised ego. Now, I think Linda Thompson in the 1970s was proper stunning looking girl. What do you think, Salvatore? You think she was a stunner in the 70s? The book, but she gets paid a lot of money to be at Elvis Week after reading her book. For me, being at Elvis Week is no different than Priscilla being buried at Graceland. Anyone that listens to them or reads their books will have a different opinion of Elvis. Now, I've always said this. This is just my opinion, guys. If people make money, you know, out of Elvis, but they speak well of him, portray him in a nice light, in a kind light, if they show the man, the true man, and they make money, I don't think there's a problem with that. It's like this, you know, this is a beautiful book. Anita and Elvis, yeah. Obviously, the author made lots of money from this book. It's okay, because it shows Elvis in a real light. Elvis, the real man. It's only when there's the negative stuff. It's when you have books like this, then we've got a problem, haven't we, guys? We've got a problem, yeah. So it depends on the book, I would say. So let's have a look. Donna Presley should watch this show. Oh, she's very welcome. I'm sure Donna has checked. Yep, I love it when they talk about the true man. Yeah, we want the hot, you know, how can I say it? We don't just want the superstar and how beautiful he is, how talented he is, how kind and just. We also want, this is a very, very religious man with I think with a very special golden heart, like a real love for humanity, love for his family and friends, and for humans. Just a beautiful man through and through. I like that. When we hear more of that, they got my vote. They got my vote. I agree. He was blessed. I agree 100%. Yeah. I mean, you know what? You say good or bad, Salvatore, but to me, the fact that Elvis had lots of girlfriends doesn't make him bad. You know, when they speak about Elvis, the things that he did as a rock and roll star, as a young man, you know, a virile man in his teens and 20s, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's just a young man being a young man. So, you know, when I was in my single years and I was a DJ, I had lots of fun. I don't look at the things I did as bad. I was a young single man. It's just, I just see it differently. Right. The book has 360 pages. I read only the parts about Elvis up to his funeral after the breakup. The rest is about his marriages. In parentheses are the page numbers. Right, okay, we don't need that bit. I think all the people around Elvis, except Mindy, whose interviews I read, are all feeding off the same story. So what Linda was trying to say to me, and I get her point, is that some of these well-known books, they have similar storylines. It's almost like they copy each other's narrative. And she's right. I've noticed that when I'm reading the different books, they follow a similar sort of storyline. They do. So Linda claims that once he died, the maybes of them getting back together were gone. She writes, I never felt like Elvis and me were totally done. And neither did he. Do you guys agree with that? So Linda felt that after they split up, there was still something there. And that Elvis still had a soft spot for Linda. I can see that. I can see that Linda doesn't agree, but I see that. Also, that Elvis told Sam, you know, I love your sister. We're not finished. Our story is not over yet. He already was with Ginger, as Linda acknowledges. My separate point of view is that I think that's very possible. I can see Linda doesn't think it, but basically she's saying that Elvis told Sam that he still had a soft spot for Linda. I believe. Guys, do you think Elvis still had a soft spot for Linda, even though he was with Ginger? I'm interested to know what you guys think about that. So Songbird, never, what did you, so after Linda and Elvis split up, do you think Elvis still had a bit of a torch for Linda? That is Songbird, is the word never your answer? Karen says yes. Salvatore, absolutely. I think he did. I do. I think he did. Jane, yes. Ayisa, I think that's a yes. Teresa, you say that, but if I said, did Elvis still love Anne Margaret, you would talk about his private life. Teresa, do you think Elvis still loved Anne Margaret? So Donna, definitely. I believe Elvis loved all his girlfriends and had a soft spot for all of them, even when they broke up. I agree with that, Salvatore. Salvatore, me and you are on the same page. So Karen, he still did care about her. Teresa, did Elvis still love Anne Margaret? Come on, give me your answer. Yeah, Donna Presley seems lovely. Right on, Salvatore. Yes, we're brothers. We think the same. Right, let's keep going with Linda's comments. So Linda, thank you for doing this. Yeah, because it creates a debate. It creates a debate. Let's have a look. In regards to Priscilla, he told her that he was hurt because Priscilla left him for another man. Well, yeah, I believe that. Guys, this is quite interesting. Guys, do you think Elvis was hurt when Priscilla ran off with Mike Stone? I definitely do. Yeah. Come on, he's a human being. What do you think, guys? Just let me see your response to that, guys. Do you think Linda was hurt? No, Elvis was hurt when Priscilla ran off with Mike Stone. Yeah, so Salvatore said he sent flowers to her shows. Yeah, cool. I mean, Songbird, yes. Karen, without a doubt. Donald Trump looks like Elvis. No. I'm from England. I'm not really into Trump, but I'm from England. Yeah, Debbie, he must have been hurt. Salvatore, yeah, I would have been. If it was me, definite. I would have been screaming. His pride was affected. Trudy, hi Trudy, yes. Teresa, Anne Margaret. And you, hey, Teresa, you just said you don't want to talk about his private life. You're not interested in his private life. Teresa, now you're talking about Anne Margaret. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Got a nice cup of tea here. Hi, Adrian, my friends. Right, let's keep going. Let's go to the next comment. Thank you for that, guys. Right. She said her experiences of Priscilla was from what she heard from Elvis. She then states in her first few months of the relationship that he was still in the process of recovering. Well, I believe that. I think Elvis was still Elvis. I think Elvis has been really badly bruised. Yeah. And, you know, I don't want to bring my life into it, but the girl I was with before my wife was seriously unfaithful to me. I laugh at it now. With more than one person. Yeah. I was bruised and hurt and upset, but luckily I wasn't in love with her, but I was still, it was embarrassing. Yeah. My pride had been broken. So I totally understand that even though Elvis didn't want to be with Priscilla, you know, he'd had, you know, them two were over. He had a tough time with it. It was embarrassing. Yeah. So I get it. Yeah, Salvatore. So don't forget, the whole world. I'm just a guy at home in a kitchen. Elvis, the whole world saw what Priscilla did. The whole world. It was in every tabloid, many news clips. So for him, it was horrific. Horrific. They say, you know, climbing up the walls, shouting, demanding that something be done about it. It's in this book, isn't it, guys? In chapter 2. You know, obviously we know this book should never have been written. It's a betrayal book. And actually in that interview I played you with Linda Thompson, the first half of that interview does discuss Elvis, how angry he got when he found out about Mike Stone with Priscilla. So, but you got to go and watch it, guys. Yeah. So let's just keep looking at this. I thought Elvis would have of her is that he was loved purely by her. I actually do think Elvis had a year with Linda where he was pretty good, pretty faithful, pretty loyal. Then it changed. I personally think Elvis helped. I think Linda helped Elvis move on from Priscilla. I think she was a bit of a stepping stone. I think she was good for Elvis in that first year. I personally think she was good for Elvis. Lily, I think Elvis's lifestyle was unhealthy and women adoring him, screaming at him may have affected how he felt about women. I wish he could have just had one woman for life and would have been stable. A Lily, and that wouldn't have been, and you know what, Lily, wouldn't it have been nice if it was Anita Wood? Many of us here think Anita Wood was perfect for Elvis. Anyway, let's keep checking your comments. Yeah, Teresa, you're right. Anne Margaret would never hurt Elvis. I agree. Let's have a look. Linda claims that Lisa called her. Right, we know about this, don't we? Lisa called her about Elvis, and Lisa said, nobody knows yet. I called you, nobody knows. But there is a dispute about this phone call, isn't there? That some are saying that when Elvis passed that day, that Lisa supposedly phoned Linda straight away. But some are saying it wasn't Lisa. It was Sam Thomas, Linda's brother, who worked for Elvis, rung Linda, and then Sam passed the phone to Lisa. So what do you think, guys? Is that true or not? I don't know. I've heard a few stories. Yeah, Anne Margaret's a very decent woman. Very, very decent woman. I'm a big Anne Margaret fan, guys. Teresa, she definitely did. And we say it again and again. The way that Priscilla dragged Lisa away from her father is disgusting. It's probably the worst thing she ever did to him. Yeah, probably the worst thing. So when Elvis passed, her apartment electricity went out. All right, so Linda's saying that the electricity went and the candles, it was first candlelight vigil, his fans carried out statements, Priscilla and Joe, that their books point to the cosmic type of activity. I'm not sure about that. On her different poor Southern upbringing, she talks about her mother's uncontrollable rage and outbursts and how she learned to avoid inciting anger, an instinct that would carry to her relationships with a volatile Elvis. Okay. Vernon told her a story about Elvis's birth and bottles exploding Jesse's soul. I heard this before in Baby Let's Play House. Do any of you know this story, guys? That when Elvis was born, obviously we know poor Jesse passed, that bottles exploded. I don't think I've ever read that other than here. Do any of you know about that? So Salvatore, I agree. She was his worst nightmare. She literally was his worst nightmare. On her difficult, let's have a look. Vernon told her a story about, no, we just said that. So is it true about this bottles exploding thing? She says that their first date at the Memphian, so we know about this. This is on the film Elvis and the Beauty Queen. It's on YouTube, guys. It's low quality. Obviously, Don Johnson plays Elvis. I actually quite like that film, but even though it's low quality, I know Don Johnson playing Elvis is a bit weird, but when you get into it, it's actually watchable. It's actually watchable. It reminds me like of the Bionic Woman. You ever watch the Bionic Woman, guys? It's got that sort of feel to it. So let's just. She says their first day at the Memphian, she and her friend were invited. She met him when he burst in the room with anger about the door being locked, and he flashed a light into the two of the employees, forcing them to apologize, then saw them calm down right from the start. She brings up his anger, the way she showed her watch, went to sit by her, stumbled on his words, and how he yawned to put his arm around her. That makes him look immature. Well, the yawning and putting his arm around her, I believe, because she said it so many times, I believe it. Now, the bit where he shouted at the ushers, I don't believe that. Elvis wouldn't treat people like that. Elvis wouldn't storm in and tell people off. I just don't think he's like that. Right, so the next comment, let me just check yours first. They were all connected to each other till she's, yeah, I see that. Linda, it's tacky, it is. But if you want to feel for the relationship between Linda Thompson and Elvis, you do get it from that film. I've watched it a few times, and it's low quality. It's badly made. Don Johnson looks really silly as Elvis, but once you get into that film, because it's quite a long film, isn't it? Over 2 hours. You do get a feel for it. You do sort of, right, I get it. I get Linda. I get Elvis. I recommend people watch it. It's free on YouTube. It's free on YouTube. So after the first date, she said she and her friends left the Memphian, got home at 4 a.m. and Elvis called her from the house at 4:30 a.m. and he was noticeably slurring, and she asked him if he was drinking. He said no, and I'm just tired. She then writes, I bought his explanation that she didn't know about the prescribed medication. As soon as after they left the Memphian, he got home, he took something and was already slurring. Well, he did, I'm not going to shy away. He did take sleeping pills. He did. I don't think it's a big deal. I actually don't think it's a big deal that Elvis took sleeping pills. And if you take a strong sleeping pill, you are going to slur your words. Come on. Some of us still take them now. I don't, but many people still take sleeping pills. Sleeping pills are part of society, aren't they? People have been taking sleeping pills since the 40s, haven't they? Right, next comment. Remember, this is Linda's comments, okay? She went to his house the next day. Let's have a look. And he took her to his bedroom and they just kissed. She writes that there were guns everywhere. Then she was going on vacation with her family for 2 weeks, which she did. I think that's true. The next day, he told her he does not like to sleep alone and wants to be with her all the time. Well, I think that could be true, because that first year, Elvis was with her most days, wasn't he? Lily, he seemed caught in a trap with co-stars who I'd like. I've always thought Elvis wore his heart on his sleeve. I've always thought Elvis fell for people quite easily. Obviously beautiful people that he's working with every day, making these movies through the 60s. I've always thought he just, once he got to know you, because Elvis liked to, I think Elvis, it wasn't about sex. I think he liked to get to know your personality. And I think when Elvis connected with someone, obviously their beauty, but their personality and their soul, their heart, that's what Elvis liked. That's what Elvis liked. I think, yeah. Right. I think Elvis, in the end, it was not about sex. I think it was much deeper than that. Much deeper, I think. It's much more heartfelt. I really believe that. She got home from vacation. The phone was ringing. It was Joe Esposito saying that he dialed her number so many times in the last 2 weeks that I had it memorized. Elvis was trying to reach for 2 weeks. Then Elvis took the phone and was upset with her because he didn't know that she would be gone for so long. In my opinion, right, okay, so I'm not reading all of this. I'm reading the bits so we can discuss. Now, this was in the movie. This is in the movie Elvis and the Beauty Queen. And it's true, though. She did go away just after meeting him at the Memphian. She did go away for a few weeks. Hi, Emily. How are you? I did message 5:37 in the morning. It's too early, Emily. Go and have a cup of tea and a coffee. So then she mentions about the baby talk, which we know Elvis. Elvis did baby talk with most of his girlfriends. I don't think Linda liked it. She thinks it makes him look immature, but I don't. I think it's cute. No offense, Linda. You know I love your letters. She wrote that he asked her to cook for him, and she said, "I'll get one of the housekeepers." And he said, "No, mummy, it tastes better when you make it." Again, Elvis did he did it with Priscilla as well. Elvis did like his girlfriend to cook for him. He liked that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm disagreeing with so many of Linda's things here. But Linda, I think even me, come on, if someone cooks for you, isn't that nice? They put some love into the food. It tastes better. I think when someone cooks for you, it tastes better. I really think that. Priscilla Presley come across so very dim. It must have been soul destroying, spending long periods of time there. Lily, I can tell you don't like Priscilla, but do you know what? I could list so many things to you right now that I'm not happy with when it comes to Priscilla and Elvis. The wrongdoing of Priscilla. We could be here for hours and hours. So sunbathing in Vegas, he offered her a pill to tan, and she states she was worried that he even had a pill for tanning. Also, he knew she didn't take. Right, I don't really know. I'm not sure about that comment. Talking about his beautiful eyes, and that, like his personality, were from the serenity of the blue Caribbean to the raging depths of the Atlantic. They would twinkle with mischief. I think that's quite a good explanation of Elvis's eyes. Let me read that again. Talking about his beautiful eyes, that, like his personality, they were from the serenity of the blue Caribbean to the raging depths of the Atlantic, and they would twinkle with mischief. I quite like that. I love the way Linda says she used to stare at him when he was asleep. Yeah, I've seen that, Salvatore. She looked at every pore in his face and she thought he was beautiful. Yeah. She's a lucky lady. People couldn't take their eyes off him. Man and woman could not take their eyes off him. When he walked into the room, everyone's head went whoop. And he had that his whole life. Let's read the next comment. She writes that he needs to receive the wealth of adoration and give just as much love, which made for a passionate environment most of the time. Okay. She was always reassuring him, because he could be insecure, couldn't he, Elvis? He could. Hi, Joanne. Yeah, I know all about Anne Margaret, Joanne, and I reckon we're gonna do a live stream talking about the things you just mentioned, Joanne. Thank you. Right, let's keep going. We're just reading Linda's notes in case you've just joined us. We're reading Linda's notes about this book before the kids get home. Yeah, so that when the kids come home, guys, I'm gonna have to zip off. Right. Let's have a look. Right, she told him that she knew of his past loves and wanted to share her past boyfriends. Elvis said, "Don't say another word." He didn't want to know if she even thought about another man and was good looking. And Elvis told her that he was really jealous. And I want to know you're mine or mine. Okay. I agree. I don't think men want to hear about your ex-girlfriends. I wouldn't. I don't want to hear about ex-girlfriends. No thanks. Ex-boyfriends. Sorry. I don't want to hear about my wife's ex-boyfriends. I'm not interested. Not interested. She said if he was in a shower, he needed her to talk to him from the outside. Well, that's cute. What's wrong with that? That's cute. She claims that his shows took such a toll on him that they brought out the neediest part of him, and he would say things when they were alone like Mummy Bunting. Yeah, so I can see that Linda doesn't like the fact that that she makes him out to be quite needy. So I understand that, Linda. She states that she loved him. She was endearing when he was like this. I bet he was. Come on, we know he had a very sensitive, really cute side. I just want to turn my food over. I put some food in, but I want it to. I'm going to eat it when you guys go. When we end the live. So let's just quickly. Okay. Let me shut this door as well. Woo. Yeah, so it's quite. You know what? I'm finding this quite interesting because from Linda's views, we're picking out something to debate. That's how I see it. Sent some to Louis, but whether it's so sad they are out of sync, but it's still nice. I haven't checked. Songbird, I haven't checked. I will have a look. She's got the role of Dallas just because of her name, 100%. But we liked Dallas. But do you know what? Didn't Priscilla get in Dallas later? Didn't she come along later? She wasn't in the original Dallas, was she? I actually preferred the first 2 or 3 years of Dallas. I loved. I got bored of it after a while. Yeah. So let's have a look. Thinking of George Clooney meeting Laura M and how the relationship worked. If only Elvis had met someone with a brain. Well, Lily, can I ask you, who was your favorite girlfriend of Elvis? Can I ask Lily, specifically for Lily Blue, who was your favorite girlfriend of Elvis? Yeah, I love Dallas, but we did get bored of it towards the end. It got silly, didn't it? When they started doing the dreams. Do you remember the dream? And then there was a new series. I think it got silly then. Salvatore, you're a naughty man. probably me as well, because I was DJing then. So we could exchange some stories, Salvatore. Right. She said if he, all right, go on. She claims his shows took such a toll. No, we've done that. She said something that she was a little girl. Sometimes he was a baby. She states that he would say, "You can't be the little girl right now. I need you." So I don't understand that. She understood. She realized he could be the sweetest man, but at the flip of a switch, he had a temper that was vicious and uncontrolled. Now, come on, he had a temper, didn't he, guys? I don't know if he was vicious. I agree with Linda here. I don't think Elvis was vicious, but he had a temper, didn't he? So, Linda, I understand what you mean. She said that she remarked about Sonny that he was good looking, and Elvis flipped out at her. Well, I think Elvis did get a bit jealous, did he, sometimes, you know? Remember, people have to remember he's a human. I don't know how jealous he got. Lily, I think Elvis was extremely vulnerable after his mother died. Completely broken man and was used by Parker and women. Lily, right, so, oh yeah, Lily, right, okay, Lily. Well, Lily, if you think that Anita Wood was Elvis's best girlfriend, you're going to love our live streams on Anita Wood. Lily, have you watched our live streams talking about Anita Wood? Because they're one of my favorite live streams. I love it. The last, I think we've done about 3 recently talking about this book, this lovely book, Once Upon a Time with Elvis and Anita. You're going to enjoy our live streams. We are big fans here of Anita Wood. Big fans. I actually agree with you, Lily. I would have loved Elvis to have married Anita Wood. Honestly, I think that is one of the biggest mistakes Elvis ever made, was choosing Priscilla over Anita. She is so lovely, so lovely. And this book, we've read 10 chapters of this book, and we're going to read some more. We really have got to know Anita and their relationship and the romance they had. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's have a look. Oh, thanks, Lily. Deborah, watch it. It's low quality. It's got Don Johnson, who looks silly, but it is watchable. It is watchable. And the girl who plays Linda, she looks a bit like Lindsay Wagner off The Bionic Woman. I think she's brilliant. I really like her as Linda Thompson. She's got someone who plays her sister as well, which is really good. Really good. I think it's a good watch, but it is very bad quality. Yeah, it's Salvatore. It's a good story, isn't it? You see him in the cinema at the Memphian when he's trying to speak to her. I like it. I like it. She was Emily. She's a beauty. Yeah, you have to forget that it's Don Johnson. I mean, I like Miami Vice. Miami Vice was good. I like Don Johnson, but not as Elvis. The only person that's ever played Elvis that I thought was anything like Elvis was Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is the only Elvis that I've ever liked. I know many people like Austin Butler. I like Austin Butler, but he didn't look like Elvis. He had that sort of spark like Elvis, you know, that charisma, but he didn't look like him. He didn't look like him, in my opinion. Kurt Russell is the King Elvis. Let's have a look. So, right, okay, we've got about 10 minutes. Let's have a look. She claims that. Right, let's have a look. She said right, next page. He said his boyish impulsiveness had consequences of him and those around him. All the pills readily available. Elvis wasn't the only one who indulged. She said the guys would joke about how obliterated they would get, and this made her feel even more like his mummy and the job of being responsible. So yeah, I do, you know, the interviews I have seen, she did mother him. Elvis wanted to be mothered. I don't really think there's anything wrong in that. Now, she talks about the Memphis Mafia and the pill taking, but the interviews I've seen is that certain members of the Memphis Mafia were taking much heavier drugs, yeah? Some of them even taking street drugs. I know the Stanley brothers were taking the more heavy stuff, weren't they? But Elvis wasn't into the street drugs, was he? He wasn't into the just getting stoned out of his head. Elvis was more, it was more prescribed, and you know, he wasn't like heroin and snorting coke, you know. He was more prescribed medication. He felt everything had a purpose. Everything was to help him, to soothe him, to help him sleep, to help him relax, to give him energy, to fix his different medical problems. You know, obviously he had serious constipation. He had heart problems, lung problems. You know, everything was going wrong, wasn't it, with Elvis in his late 30s? Glaucoma. So, right, you've been out 3 times now. You've been out 3 times. And it's cold out there. She's been out 3 times. 3 times. And she's been upstairs 3 times. Sorry. Princess, come on. Come on, there's no one out there. She imagines things. You know, I see that Austin had this sort of, how can I say it? My daughter would call it sass. My daughter is like, I'm sassy. Yeah. I can see Austin Butler had sass. But come on, he didn't look like Elvis. Does anyone think he looked like Elvis? I enjoyed a bit of the film. I'm not a massive Baz Luhrmann film fan. I'm not. But I do see how the Elvis film, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis, reintroduces Elvis to a younger age group, yeah, to a new generation. I saw that it was good in that way. Obviously, we know that Lisa loved it, Priscilla loved it. I think there was too much of Baz Luhrmann trying to keep Priscilla happy. I really think that Baz Luhrmann trying to keep Priscilla happy, too much. Even with the Netflix documentary, it's too much. Let's keep Priscilla happy. Don't like it. Don't like it. Just my view, guys. Except Salvatore, nobody looks like Elvis. He was blessed, one of a kind. Except for you, my friend. Let's have a look. Austin Butler wasn't too bad, but I like, don't get me wrong, guys. I like Austin Butler. I think he's a lovely guy. He truly loves Elvis. Truly. But come on. You know, come on, let's be real. Let's be real, guys. I mean, I'm sometimes people don't like it when I say this, but I wasn't mad about the film. I thought it was okay. There was many parts of that film I just didn't like. Let's just do it, shall we? Let's just get a picture of him. I don't know if this. Let's just get a picture of him, yeah? Now, he's a handsome guy, yeah? He's a handsome guy, yeah? But he's not Elvis. He's a, you know, even this, there's one here, yeah? You know, he's got the sass. He's got the sass. But he ain't no Elvis. You know, but don't get me wrong, anything that reboosts Elvis around the world is a good thing. Right, I think I've read enough of this now. Quite interesting. Thank you, Linda. It's very interesting. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that, because that must have took you ages. And we are going to read some bits of this book as well. A little thing called Life by Linda. I'm going to try and pick out the Elvis stuff, the Elvis related stuff in this book. Yeah, I don't want to read all the boring stuff. I'll pick out the good bits, yeah? So, actually, what I could do, let's see if there's any decent pictures of Elvis and Linda together. There we go. It's not very clear. It's a bit dark in here. There's a few in here. I think there's a lot of pictures of her with her family, but You know. So let me just check your comments, guys. Let me just shut that door. The wind's all blowing in. Right, Princess, are you in? Come on. I think she's in. I think she's back. She's gonna bark again to come out anyway. So the way that the Colonel Parker portrayed. Let's have a look. We've got a comment from Lily. Sorry. The way the Colonel Tom Parker portrayed Elvis come across as an idiot to who would have ever tolerated Parker as he was in that film. Yes, I agree. Lily, I agree. I don't. Look, she is still out there. I thought she was in. Right, come on. Come in now. It's cold. Come on, it's cold. It's cold out there. Come on. Okay, my dogs need to be let in and out every 5 minutes. It drives me mad. He took the mick out of Elvis. I heard on the comedy sketch show. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it. Yeah, he's definitely not Elvis. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah. I don't think any of us have accepted that Lisa Marie isn't here. I think it doesn't fit in our brains, does it? Because she was so young. And we grew up with her. The film seemed to be made for people who needed everything spelled out. So much missed out. Yes, I found a lot of the parts of the film. I just like the bit where they show the Memphis Mafia is just weird, where they're all like dancing, introducing each one of them, Jerry and etc. and Joe, and just found that strange. Even when they're in Graceland, it went too quick. It was very fast. Like, oh look, here's Graceland. There's the mum. She's drunk. I just found the whole thing a bit of a parody. I personally think that Baz Luhrmann, I don't want to sound horrible, but Baz Luhrmann is overrated as a director. That's just my opinion. Sorry. I plead innocent of all sins. I think Baz Luhrmann's overrated. Yeah. Sorry if I've upset anyone, but I really do. And I know that he's doing this new documentary, isn't he, with some newfound footage. So I'm looking forward to. I bet you Priscilla has a big hand in it. This is my problem with that. I bet you this new documentary that's coming out, Priscilla will have a big hand in it because it's important to Baz Luhrmann to keep Priscilla happy. In my opinion, guys. I could be wrong. The film seemed to be right. Let's have a look. So yes, lots of things in the Baz Luhrmann film I didn't like. Sorry, guys. I'm just being honest. I have to say my own truth. I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad Lisa Marie gave Riley the tape for her book before she passed, because if Priscilla got her hands on it, it would never have. Yeah. Wow, Joanne. That's the first person that's ever said that to me. Wow. What a brilliant comment. Yeah. That's very true, actually. Just think if Priscilla had got hold of those tapes before Riley. Wow. It's unthinkable. Unthinkable. Let's have a look. For years, Lisa spent her summers at Graceland, and you would always know when she was home, even as a grown woman, the go-karts ride. Yes, it's so special. And we've seen all the footage, and she made sure that Riley and Benjamin spent their summers there as well, didn't she? It's very sad, guys. Very sad. We knew that she didn't look well. Yes, we all knew. I don't think we thought she was going to die. Did we, Salvatore? We didn't think she was going to die, but we could see something was wrong. I remember watching it. I remember turning to my wife and saying, "There's something wrong there. There's something not right." Yeah, she just looked so gaunt. She must have been in serious pain. Right, where is she? She's not trying to go out again, is she?
Who?
Princess. You know she's been out 6 times.
She wasn't.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Right, come on. You've been out 6 times. Come on, it's all right. It's okay. Just relax. All right. I don't think they are. I think they're being fed. But anyway, I'm going to feed them now. Right. So We knew that she didn't look. Yeah. Salvatore, I'm so jealous. I would be fainted. Yes, the whole scene of leaving because of women. What are you doing? Everything's all right. Come on. What's the matter? Do you want me to pick you up? Can I pick you up? Come on. Oh. Now, why do you keep barking? Why do you keep barking? She's like 16 years old, isn't she? So she forgets that she's been out. So she keeps coming in. Then she wants to go out again. Comes back in. Look, Team Elvis. Team Elvis. You have to stop barking every 2 minutes. Go on then, down you go. Let's have a look. Billy Smith thought it was a bad movie. Well, that doesn't surprise me. The whole scene of leaving because of women and drugs. Yes, the ending. I agree, Linda. Elvis was a beautiful man. And when I seen him in Memphis riding his motorcycle, he was so handsome. You're lucky you saw him. Deborah, I wish I saw him. So then Deborah says, sorry, the messages are jumping up. Deborah says, yes, Emily, I seen him when he was around Memphis at Graceland. My uncle lived across the street from Vernon, and I spent the summer with my aunt and uncle. You're so lucky. Baz Luhrmann wanted Priscilla at the movie opening, standing alongside him as if it was a stamp of approval and authenticity. I agree. He kisses Priscilla's ass. He does. I don't like it. I'm not a Baz Luhrmann fan. Sorry guys, I admit it. I don't dislike him. He kisses Priscilla's ass too much. Sorry. Yeah, Princess, she wants a cuddle. She gets loads of cuddles. She sits with me all the time. Princess, both my dogs, when I'm on the sofa watching TV, they sit with me. Don't they, Gio? This is my son. Gio's in the background. When did you turn 15? Every time he comes in, I say, when did you turn 15? He says, February. He's football crazy. He's football mad. Do you know that song, Gio? Huh? Do you know Football Crazy song? No. Do you want to sing it to me? I don't know. Do you want to sing me a football song? I don't know. You don't know any football songs? Oh, no, I do. What about Chelsea? What's a Chelsea song? Chelsea football song? Blue is the colour. Blue is the colour. Football is the game. Now we're together. Winning is our aim. Is that it? I don't know. I just do. So I'm singing. I'm trying to get my son to sing with me. Right. Let's have a look. I'm just glad that in my lifetime I got to go to witness Elvis Presley. There'll never be another one. That is true, Salvatore, my friend. You were so very close. Yeah, Deborah, you're a lucky lady. I wish somebody would have helped Lisa. I would. Yes, I know, Teresa. Let's say, the comments keep jumping out. It's really annoying. Elvis's circle of people all had their hands in the cookie jar. This is Joanne Judd. And loved the ride with him until he passed. Then the dollars was gone, so they made the dollars talking about him. Yeah, true. Completely correct, Joanne. Let's have a look. Yeah, Salvatore, you are lucky, man. Let's have a look. I was blessed to have my time with my family in Memphis. Yes, you were. And in the Graceland neighborhood. You were. Special memories, Deborah. Yeah, Karen, we do, don't we? When I was a young child, my sister told me she was taking me to see Elvis. I was so excited. It turns out it was Shakin' Stevens lookalike, and my sister was trying to be kind to me. So, Lily, does that mean you're in England? Lily, are you in England? I like Shakin' Stevens. I think he's all right. When I was growing up in the 80s, he was the nearest thing to Elvis you would get in England. Cliff Richard a little bit. I like Cliff Richard. Yeah. I think about Linda, don't mean seeing him live. I mean, witnessing him in our lifetime. Yeah. Yeah. Many of us were alive when Elvis was alive. Yes, Deborah, Kurt Russell was the best Elvis. Come on. We won't even talk about the Priscilla film because the Priscilla film was the worst film ever made. A complete flop. I know what you mean about the Elvis mannerisms. I know what you mean, Deborah, but I really like Austin, but come on, there's no Elvis. But I get, he had that spark, he had that flair, the sass. He got the sass bit right, but the looks, nah. But he's a nice guy. I've watched him get interviewed thousands of times, and he's just a lovely guy. He genuinely liked Elvis. Yeah. I've watched it on my phone. I found an app that let me watch it for free. It was terrible. Yeah, I agree. They make her out to be a drunk. You know that in the 50s and 60s, it was very normal to drink alcohol for medicine, for medical purposes. So there's a good chance that, because obviously she was in pain and discomfort in the 50s, wasn't she? There's a chance that she would drink alcohol to soothe her, to reduce her pain. Yeah, medicinally. It's quite, in the 50s, that wasn't unusual, was it, guys? What was that? There's an ointment that I think, something you drink, that Colonel Tom Parker supposedly sold, that was to ease pain, to make you better, but really it was just alcohol. I'm forgetting the name of it. Colonel Tom Parker, before he became well known, would sell it, would promote it. I can't remember what it's called, guys. I read all about it somewhere. Linda, thank you for letting us read your stuff, by the way. I hope you're not upset by me disagreeing with a few of your comments. I was respectful. I seen Lisa in concert in California at the Universal Amphitheater. She gave a great concert. And amazing, looking like Elvis. Yes, she had it. Lisa had it. Come on. I didn't like how they portrayed. Let's have a look. I didn't like how they portrayed Gladys. Always drink it. Definitely. Yeah, I fully agree with that. It's just cruel, isn't it? I watched it and she was sick, and you could tell. And I'm so surprised that Jerry hadn't noticed her. Yeah. I agree. Jerry should have stepped in and done something. So should have Priscilla. I know many of you here would never watch the Priscilla film. Louis, I was listening in my car when you were reading the book notes. I'm going to comment about it below forever. Oh, thank you, Linda. In those days, if you went to the doctors and with stress, you couldn't be prescribed half a pound of sausages and 20 cigarettes. Oh, I see what you mean. They just gave you whatever you wanted. Linda, that's how I think too. Gladys wasn't a drinker. I'm surprised, Lisa, and I'm sure. No, you are respectful, but I want to clarify points. No, go ahead, Linda. Of course. The face, undeniably, and Billy Smith said, right, you should have Aurora read the book, you should have Aurora read the book, not live. I'd love her perspective. Yeah, it's true though, isn't it, Linda? A woman's point of view is different than mine. I'm a bloke, you know, I'm a man. Do you know what, Linda? I beg my wife to read. I beg her. I even offered her money. It didn't work. I offered to pay her. She laughed at me. They were caught up in the moment, not noticing how sick she was. Come on, how can you not notice? Jerry was nearly holding Lisa up that night. Yes, Karen. Priscilla was so tiny. She looked like a little porcelain doll. Riley was there too. Yeah. I don't understand why they didn't drag her to the hospital. Yet everyone thinks that, don't they? Don't forget, Priscilla talks about how they went for a drink. Was it the night before? Yeah, it just doesn't add up, does it? I think we all thought the same when we seen Lisa Marie. Something just wasn't right. She was in extreme pain, but she still wants to represent her dad. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, come on. She absolutely loved the film. She did. She was so proud. She felt that her dad had been relaunched in a good light. She felt the Baz Luhrmann film did Elvis a lot of good. I can tell. And she loved Austin Butler. Let's have a look. Turn around. No, I'm not going to turn around, Emily. I could see, especially at the Golden Globes. Totally agree with you, Deborah. Yeah. How did Priscilla not see how sick? Yes, I agree. Jerry was holding her up. They should have made her go to the hospital. Yeah. So Teresa said they didn't care that she was sick. I was so heartsick to see Lisa sick. Yeah. And then she died days later. It's true, Deborah. She had to lean on Jerry. It's so sad, isn't it? Teresa doesn't believe a word that Priscilla says. I'm the same. I don't trust Priscilla. I do not trust Priscilla. Priscilla is so narcissistic that she would not have noticed that Lisa Marie was sick. My ex-husband was the same. I could have been in the same chair dead for a week and he would not have noticed. God, I feel sorry for you, Lily. I feel sorry for you. And, you know, I just think, I don't know why, but Priscilla has something about her that is very cold, very hard, very lack of emotion. She has a cold center. I don't know why, and I'm surprised Elvis didn't spot it when she was young. Because Elvis was good at reading people. So he messed up, didn't he? All right, you can actually hear her say it, Salvatore. I'm sorry, Lily, that's horrible. Yeah, it is horrible, isn't it, Lily? The commentator said, turn around as your dog was getting its own supper, Louis. All right, okay. Prissy had snake eyes. Woo! Salvatore did me too. Even at the celebration of her dad's birthday, I could tell that she wasn't well. Then to see her at the Golden Globes. Jerry should have done something. Come on. He was very close to Lisa, wasn't he? And the problem with Jerry, he's also too close to Priscilla. He's like Baz Luhrmann. He's too close to Priscilla, which I have strong views about. Not yet, Linda. I will do. Shall I quickly check? Let's have a look. Can you? There we are. Is that it? I'll quickly read. This is this one. Is it going to focus on it? This one. So I'll read it. It's only short. I'll quickly read it. So Linda sent me this. It has been said in some of the books that Elvis had videos and or possibly photographs of Priscilla with another woman. I have heard this. In Sonny's book, which you should get any day, thank you, he states that he heard that when Elvis died, Priscilla destroyed all videos he made. Shirley's book stated that Elvis died. Shirley's book stated that after Elvis died, Joe Esposito gave the videos to Priscilla. It occurred to me, so this is Linda's video. It occurred to me that this is true. then Elvis really knew Priscilla was not the shy, innocent girl that she portrayed herself as, and probably not the woman he wanted to marry. Everyone said that he was ready for marriage, but I believe by the time he was pressured to marry her, he knew what Priscilla was really like. And then, of course, she took it further by cheating. I think I agree with all of that, Linda. I just want to turn my food over. Right, quickly just turn this over. The kids are going to be here in a sec. Okay. Right. We've got a couple of minutes left, guys. So the kids have been at like a little party tonight. It was women only, girls only party. No dads allowed. So I see. Let's have a look. Where are we? Sorry, guys. I missed a few comments. Any comments that I've missed? I'm very sorry. Very sorry. They are shooting up pretty fast. He didn't notice the side of her because she was acting. Yes, I agree. There was a fake front from Priscilla, and the book Child Bride gives us an inside indication of that, doesn't it? I definitely think Priscilla has a completely different side to her. The mind boggles. Just I find her unbelievable. Like I can't even put it into words. When you go through each year, going right from 1959 right to now, every year there's something crazy that happens. That she's capable, guys. She's capable of some pretty dastardly things. Let's have a look. The commentators. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let me just get back on these comments. Why is Priscilla involved in everything about Elvis? True, Donna. I agree. I agree. She shouldn't have been in the Netflix documentary. She shouldn't have been in anything to do with Baz Luhrmann's film. Even the Priscilla film. What is that? Why are they making a film about Priscilla? It doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't make sense. Why does Priscilla deserve to have a film made about her? What was Sofia Coppola thinking? No wonder it was a flop if it's based on the book Elvis and Me, which we always constantly say is a book of lies, total bullshit. This book is bullshit. It's a book of lies. It's crap. They make a whole movie based on it. It's unbelievable. I don't get it. The world's gone mad. Let's have a look. Sometimes women who are pretty are corrupted by their own beauty and become shallow, and maybe Elvis should have dated a woman less pretty. I think that's right. And I believe, I say this, I've said this many times, because she was a very beautiful woman, a very sexy woman. I believe she knew that she had power with her looks and her sexiness. I'm on about in the 60s and 70s, yeah? I think she used how she looked. I think she toyed with men. She picked the men and dropped them like rocks. Mike Stone, he was dropped like a rock, Mike Stone. Even Michael Edwards, when she got fed up with him, the disgusting man who should be in prison. I always say this, justice for Lisa Marie. Michael Edwards should be in prison. Sexual abuse shouldn't be happening, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. I know it's allegations, but we believe it. I'm really surprised that Elvis, he was the type of guy you couldn't tell what to do. I know what you mean, Salvatore. She got away with so much. She got away with so much. Sometimes, have a look. Donna, because she thinks she's the boss of everything, she was given too much power because of the lien that she had on Graceland. Definitely. I think that lien is the reason she was allowed to launch Graceland and try and claim full credit for the fact it became a museum, the fact that it was saved, when we know she didn't save Graceland and it was not her idea to do the museum. I agree. The lien gave her the right to demand that she could launch Graceland. And this bullshit, it's funny because I actually recorded a clip, guys. Let's see, I'll play it for you. I recorded this the other night. Hopefully I've got just enough time to play this for you guys because the kids are going to be here in a second. Let me just see if I can find it. I recorded this last night. And I thought I'm going to play this. Let's have a look. Here we go.
And the reason why Elvis would come back.
Right, I got just enough time to play you this. Remember, I disagree with all of this. I disagree with this. That's the reason. The reason I recorded it is because it annoyed me. I wanted to show you guys. So eventually, she starts saying how she saved Graceland, how it was her idea to open the museum. Let's listen to it.
Because he had that same feeling of greeting people, taking care of people, and the way he was raised. So I mean, these are all the things we'll be talking about, even to get to know him better with his lifestyle, because all of this goes with it.
It's the authenticity of what, because in a way, Memphis has an undefinable sort of something too.
Yes.
We have to give you your due, though, because you say you never imagined how big it would be. When you think about what your vision for Graceland was, that's the first time it ever happened. And to give another example, it hasn't yet happened with Paisley Park. Prince was a huge star, too. So your vision, did you have naysayers when you and Jack Soden teamed up to do this and to create Graceland, who said, "Oh, that'll never work.
My God.
I'm going to care"?
Yes,
how did you fight that?
And the naysayers were my own executors. I was co-executor.
Were they really?
Well, the people closest to you.
Yeah, the closest, absolutely.
So how did you battle back from that?
That was an eye-opener for me when they said that, sell Graceland, that Elvis will be forgotten in 6 months, swear to God. Wow. That just hit me so hard that could never happen. Never. I'm not letting that happen. And I knew how much he loved Graceland and that he would never sell Graceland. So that was a mission that was really, I had to fulfill that dream and make that not happen in any sense. And also, it was an eye-opener for me that they didn't really get who he was. I don't think they ever really got who he was at that time, even though and the way he was raised.
Oh my God! I mean, do you know what bothers me about that clip? Yeah, I mean, she's probably done an interview like that many times. Yeah, people believe it. People fall for it. The non-Elvis fans that are just watching the news, and Priscilla comes up and starts coming out with this garbage that it was her vision, that Graceland's museum was her vision, and that she saved Graceland's, and her and Jack Soden saved the day. It's such a load of bollocks. Sorry, guys, don't like to swear. She did not save Graceland's. Graceland's was not her idea. We've seen proof that proves that they were never going to sell Graceland's. She says, Graceland's was going to be, in this interview, she says Graceland's was going to be sold off and Elvis would have been forgotten within 6 months. She says that in this interview. It's like, it sickens me when I listen to it. And then she's like, oh yeah, I saved Graceland and I launched the museum and my vision. It's just, guys, if anyone's watching now that believes that, it's a lie. It's a lie. Priscilla fans, no offense. It's bullshit. She didn't save Graceland. The museum was not her idea. Elvis's Graceland was not her vision. Come on, we have to wake up, smell the coffee, guys. Such a load of crap. And I'm glad I had that now. I remember last night I found that, but I stumbled on it and it really annoyed me. It really annoyed me. Jerry was walking with Lisa, holding her up, and so-called mother, and walking instead. She could turn around. He helped her out once again. I know. It's so sad, isn't it? I had a detached retina surgery in July. I developed cataract and have, my mum, who's in a nursing home, she's 84, has just had both her cataracts done. And I tell you what, she's so happy. She can't believe just how much it has improved her sight. So guys, I recommend, if you've got cataract problems, get it done. And my mum said it didn't hurt much. It didn't hurt hardly anything. I took a picture of her with my brother. Let me just show you. Actually, I might have a video of her. She won't mind. She knows. My mum knows that I'm obsessed with Elvis, and I have an Elvis channel. My mum knows I spent my whole life loving Elvis. I did do a video of her, but I don't know if it's here. Let's have a look. My mum is lovely. She's in a nursing home, but she's fully healthy. She's fully healthy. There's nothing wrong with her. She loves living there. She wanted to go in the nursing home. It was her decision. Let's see if it comes up. Right, if I have to... Oh, I've got to go. I've got to go. Oh, sorry, guys. Let me just see if I can get a picture of my mum. I'm going to have to go, guys. There we are. That's my mum. Bye, guys. I'm going to shoot off. Sorry, guys. Love you all. Love you all. Bye! Bye, guys. The house has gone mad.